12 years ago yesterday, I became legal as a business, my first business ever in my entire life. I'm James Lott Jr. And this is a Super Organizer Show live. I'm doing these in a long time. End of the year. I talk to you guys a little bit while I'm sitting here in the morning. I'll set the rooms, come in chat room, say hello to me, say hello, say congratulations, whatever. Yes, I've been in the business as a professional organizer for 12 years. Kind of crazy. Why is that so big? That's that. Okay, I'm making that a little smaller. It's a little dark in my house because it's sunny outside, but it's cold. I have the heater on or right over here. I should turn some more lights on, but I don't feel like getting up. It is, I'm trying to get this coffee out of my mug, this organizer. I'm getting my coffee, trying to get it going. For today, oh my God, I'm already tired already. I'm trying to wake up. I haven't eaten or anything yet. My hair is crazy, not sure on that. But 12 years, oh my goodness. Time flies. I'm telling you, I was a person who never thought I would be an entrepreneur. I look back on it now, 12 years, almost 13 years later, next will be 13 years I was in LA. I've been in LA, that it does sound strange to hear me say that, right? Because I do so much entrepreneurial that's like, well, and I did, it's funny, I just had jobs. I did what I was told. I would go get jobs. I would get jobs all the time and work those jobs really well and really hard. But I never thought about being my own boss. That was just something I just never thought about. It's just, I mean, and I don't, maybe that's weird. I just never thought that. I just never thought, I'll be my own boss. I'll do what whatever. Never did. And I started out literally from scratch, which is interesting too. Like when I say that I built whatever I have now from scratch, I did. I started from very little knowledge about starting a business. I didn't know what it was going to be about. When I first started, I was doing cleaning and organizing. I didn't even have a business plan yet. I was just kind of like, okay, let's do some. I had a couple of people that I got, one through my mom and somebody else, and I did a Craigslist ad. I started getting people, and I just started working. And I found that I enjoyed it. I loved it, but I still didn't know that it was really. It's funny you start stuff and like the naivete, you just kind of go, oh, I'm just going to do it. And it wasn't even like I was super young or anything either. I was in my 40s. I was 40 years old. I'm 39, 40 years old. I wasn't like I was super young, but I was just kind of like, I'll try, I have nothing to lose. I didn't think long term. I didn't think how I'd be in 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or 12 years. I did not think about that at all. I didn't think about, will I expand into a podcast? I didn't know what podcasting was back then. The only thing was podcasting back then. There was no social media back then. When I first started, well, there was Facebook. That was it. Then maybe Twitter came after that. But it was like it wasn't like it was today. Like I said, I was advertising on Craigslist, all things, and doing postcards. I was also like, I thought about it, writing a book. I mean, I thought about that a little bit, but I didn't think I was going to write a book. I'm not have a book out. Organizing songs, never thought I was going to do that. I have 2 organizing songs out right now. An organizing musical, which I'm writing right now. Never thought I'd have that. Like when I started, there was none of that stuff was even in my thoughts. It was literally, I need to make money. I want to do something that I like and love, and can I get clients? And of course, I've written 4 books. Co-written 4 books on my entrepreneurship. You can get those online, James Lott Jr. But and I'm going to write more about that too at some point, because I just think I think people understand that you can't, depending on what you're doing, you can start a business with very little money, but with lots of tenacity and get out there and really build it brick by brick. Just like so you start, like literally start from scratch and have the patience, have the determination, and just keep going forward. And literally you build. It does that if you just continue doing it. And then on the side, learn stuff, get education, read books, go to classes. That's what I did. And it's like that. Talk to friends who are doing it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I just kind of on the side builds up all this stuff. And then just the experience you gather along the way, you just gather experience, that helps you teach you also. You're like, pay attention to those experiences, good and bad. I had to fire somebody, a situation I had to handle. So I had someone else dictate how I handle a customer. Not never again. That was I'm not. I wasn't satisfied in the end. I didn't like that. It was like, wait a minute, it's my business. But I wasn't confident enough, and I was trying to be nice. I was like, no, it's my business. I'm in charge. I will handle it the way I want to. That's what I do now. But all that stuff you have to learn by doing this. And a lot of times it's like I just want to do the thing that I want to do. I just want to organize. All the other stuff is crazy. So you asked me how I did. So I did through LegalZoom. LegalZoom was big back then. It's still around. They've been great to me over the years. And I just went to them and said, how do we set this up? Step-by-step process. It all worked out. I mean, I was very much like I was going to go on my T's crossed, I's dotted. About 5-6 years ago, I had a huge mess happen in my business, which I'll talk about one day. And I had to I thought I was going to come back from that. I thought I was done. That I was over. And I understand why people kill themselves over money and business, and I totally get why they do that. And I came back. Somehow I came back and I got back into the business, and now it's better than ever. I mean, I got so many people. It's crazy. So it's just one of those things that you just kind of, it's not for the faint of heart. Entrepreneurship is it's so funny because it's rewarding and crazy and nerve-wracking and wonderful. The victories are great, and the victories are different. The victories are like, I do feel like I've earned things. You know what I mean? Like when I make a sale or I bring a client or finish with somebody, I earned it. When I'm organized, I sent out. So yesterday I did is I sent out texts to all my clients, past and present. Well, not all of them, most of them, past and present. I can remember, and said thank you. Literally, I mean, I wouldn't be here without them, but I wouldn't be. I'm thinking right now today. I was thinking there's a few people I missed, so I may send out like a few people that I missed. But it was like I really, really appreciate them. They got me here, and they taught me a lot. I learned a lot from them in the organizing process, to the money process, to the customer service aspect. I learned a lot. And so as much, and for them, a lot of them started getting back to me and saying, oh my God, thank you, James. And then, oh my God, I couldn't do it without you, and all this stuff. And it was like, that was nice to hear too. You know, this organizing process is very intimate. It's very, you're in people's space. You're touching their stuff. It conjures up so many, for every person it's different what it conjures up. And so I just think it's just amazing, you know, how that works. And so I'm just it can be a very emotional process. It could be a nerve-wracking process. It could be a push and pull dynamic. It could be a release for people. As an organizer, you have to find ways, in my opinion, to be neutral, but also be supportive. I have so many great clients that I had over the years. There were clients that I miss. I have a couple clients who have died. They're not here anymore, which is sad. But there's folks I'm just like, I have a good time, my clients. We have a good time, a cheerleader. I'm here for you. So my clients are very particular about how they like certain things. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't fight it. I'm like, you want this way? And I have clients who's, oh my God, it's so funny. They have a specific idea, have a hard time letting go. And I know it because to me, it's just stuff. to them, it's something that's very important. And there's certain situations I'll be like, that's not going to work. They want to try it anyway. Like on occasion, we like Tetris, we figured it out together and we did make some things work. Sometimes if there's an impasse, it doesn't work. And that's when that's when you get to the nitty gritty. And that's when you're watching them and you're going, okay, they have to really process this, that what they thought was going to be is not. And that's where it gets tough. That's where it gets hard. And that's where the work comes in. And that's where my compassion has to step up. That's where I have to have empathy. I have to because I usually when I come in, I have 4 or 5 ways to do something. Oh, we can do it this way, this way, this way. And they go, oh, hey, whatever. But there's times when literally I'm like, you left a 2,000 square foot house and you're in an 800 square foot apartment. Everything's not going to fit, especially if you don't want a junky hoarder apartment and you want space and everything. Sometimes you can buy certain products and make it happen. Easily. But sometimes you can do that. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes if you can't. And that's what's interesting. And that's where the real work comes in. I love figuring out. It's like a puzzle. I love figuring stuff out. Okay, let's see how we can do this. How can this work? And how can it work? And I love when people are happy. So I love that if I can make it work within the confines of what you want, you're better. I love it. I've had people have a little crisis afterwards, can't find something, call me. Now, I will say this, and I talked to other organizers. I talked to other organizers about this. I can only remember, maybe for a while, maybe for a couple of days, I'm so busy on to the next client. Sometimes up to a week, possibly, I can remember something. So I'll call you 2 months later, or this one person called me a year and a half later. Do you remember that? No, that was a year and a half ago in your garage. I have no idea. I've been to your house in a year and a half. I have no idea where that is. I'm sure it's in there, but I don't remember what I did. I don't remember. Hi, Maddie B. How are you? I've talked to you in a long time. I don't know. I don't know where it is. So, but a lot of times it's close by and close in time. I can kind of talk you through it. Try to remember. I can start to try to visualize it if I can. And then also you got to remember, do you live by yourself? Does someone move it in your house? Which that happens too. We have it in certain places. Not there. I'm like, I don't know where it is then. Somebody in your house, does they move stuff around? Things like that. So I deal with all that stuff all the time. But I love the industry. I love organizing. I love life coaching. I love all of that. I do. I love it. And I think it's a noble thing to do. We have a lot of professional organizers all over the country that do amazing work, that do different kinds of work, very specific work. I love it. I just know another way to explain it. It's wonderful. And I think people, I know folks still, hi, B. Patterson. I know there are folks who still don't understand that it's a profession. It is a profession around since the 80s. But the one thing I'll say is before I go, I just want to come on really quick. And today is Monday, December 20th, 2021. I didn't do my opening like I usually do. And I do my own, and I'll do my thanks and gratitude at the end. I'm doing this show very different today. It's live and very different. I just want to come on really quick and say hi to you guys. It's the holidays, so I'm busy doing holiday stuff. What I tell people is look at your stuff. Look at what you have in your spaces. I implore you, look at your stuff. Is there anything you can get rid of? When I say get rid of, pass on to other people, give to Goodwill or Salvation Army, whatever, we'll just give to dog and cat shelters. Are there blankets you're not using that are not the greatest? Shelters, especially this time of the winter time, many of those dog shelters and cat shelters have just regular marble floors and they're cold. They don't have enough dog beds. If you have an extra dog bed that you're not using, pass it along. So I tell people, it's like, just look at it. You have extra cans of food, pass it along. Just if there's things you just don't use at all. I'm not talking about mementos, and I'm talking about there's like other stuff. You have 3 mops. Why do you have 3 mops? Have one, get rid of the other 2. That kind of thing. Pass on people who can use them possibly. Or the mops are raggedy. Get rid of them. They're raggedy. They're shredding to pieces. Get rid of them. Extra chairs, extra anything. Like, do you have anything in your house that you can literally pass on to someone else? So let's get and get out of your house and make room. So just think about that. It's also my thing. Just think about that. Boxes, bags. A lot of that stuff takes up space too. You get packages from Amazon. It's time of year. You package from Amazon. Do you need to keep every single Amazon box because you might use it to pack new packages? So, I mean, get rid of a couple of boxes. Keep a few good ones. As long as you can actually put the box in top boxes, kind of put them side boxes. Find ways to condense the space so there's not so much stuff out there taking up space. Those boxes take up space. Bags. I have clients who have servants, they fold bags that don't take a lot of space. So they can keep their bags. But do you need 900 bags? No. 10,000 of them? No, you don't. Get rid of some of them. Or I do sometimes, I use them as trash, recycling bin, so to speak. Or recycling there, because I drink lots of juices and stuff. Throw the bottles in there, throw all that stuff in there, and put it in recycling. I think what else you have. Look at your appliances. The other day I was like, I have 3 blenders. I don't need 3 blenders. My Ninja blender's the bomb. So I have that one. I have a little tiny bullet blender that I take with me, so that's cute. But I have this old school blender that I love it. It's old school. I've had it for years, but I don't use it anymore. So I'm asking around if anybody needs one. I'll give it to them. We have multiple things. You just don't need. Do you need 5 rolling pins? Yes, you bake. Well, are you a baker by trade? Like, do you know anything real work? No. 1 or 2 is fine. Calendars, the little calendars you use to strain. You need 5 of those. I was like, this is little things like that you have to go through. But they really go through towels, go through sheets. Those are things that we forget about. We just don't go through them. Forget about it. I'm in a mindset right now. I get so crowded here sometimes. I need to put a plenty of color. Yes, it's just one of those things where there are things you just don't think about. There are household items you just have in your house that you literally just don't look at. For me, it is towels and sheets. I have to remind myself like once a year to literally go through them and see which ones are worn out, which ones have holes in them or have ink spots or whatever. Like I have to look at them. But like I said, I love animals, and that's just one suggestion for me is to pass them along to animals and to animal shelters so they can actually have them. They can use them to keep little babies warm while they don't have any homes. That's one way of doing it. So, I mean, there's also homeless. My pastor collected blankets for the homeless. There's all he wanted was blankets. I gave him a couple of blankets I had and a comforter. I'm inside a house. My house was cold, but I have a heater. I'm inside. I mean, I don't need 10 blankets. Pass them along. I had a bunch of my great grandmother's Afghans. I gave a couple for myself. I passed on some to my grandson. To pass it on in the family. I said, well, I'm gonna send this on to my grandson Trenton. He gets one. So now he has an Afghan that's from his great grandmother, stays in the family, and that's one less thing I have in my house, like for something else. So it's kind of like, but there are things you don't think about. You fold them up, you put them somewhere, you don't think about them, but they're taking up space. At one point, I was like, all my towels were old and dingy and like not really. I didn't realize that. Got rid of all of them. Got a whole bunch of new towels. But I didn't buy as many. So I think I got rid of like 15 and brought in like 7. Like or like those like 7 or 8. I got rid of a bunch. That's another thing too. With one trick they always say, take out two, bring in one, take out two, that kind of thing. It's like, don't just simply replace. Always bring in less than what you put out, or sorry, put out more than you bring in less. Somebody just like that, right? You get the idea. That's what they always say. So that's part of the 12 years, the things that I've learned in 12 years. I have clients who really want it to change, and really, I'm so proud of them. And that's my thanks and gratitude is to the clients that I work with, who I always say work with. I don't work for whatever. We work together. We are a team. That they really do. They really are mindful that they have issues that they want to resolve, and we just resolve them. We do it. We do it. We do it. We do it. We have a good time. We have fun, and that's what we do. And so it's so much. It's for me. It's just like, yeah, it's a godsend to work with people who are willing to make change. When they call me, that means they're ready. And I have some clients who are just so nice and so beautiful and so just wonderful. They work hard. They work hard for their money. They work hard. Anybody wants to pay me money to help them, I appreciate that and live in gratitude every day. Because times are tough for a lot of people out there. So I was very blessed to have business for this time period. So I appreciate that also. I appreciate the ability to still organize. I'm getting older. I am thinking about it. I'm heading towards 60 at some point. I mean, I'm going to be 53 in a few months. And it's like, I'm just saying, it'll be here before I know it. I'm just thinking, I need to decide, those 10-year plans. 10 years to 62 years old. I'm 62. Do I want to keep doing it at 62? I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to. I have a lot of clothes. Some are worn, some are too small, but I will fit again. Some places and events I haven't been to yet. Yes, the clothes thing is another whole story, right? I'm thinking about doing some Q&As coming up this next year. I was like, I want to do some more stuff, more interactive stuff with people. I think I might do one coming up, and we'll talk about clothes in depth in that, because I'm a rotator. I'm all about rotating your clothes. Try to wear them all as you can, especially the ones that are everyday wear. But yes, we have the clothes we hold on to because we think we're going to fit them again. No offense to anybody or you be passing, you may not ever fit them again. That's just the realism. Unless you are super into fitness and you are in it every day and you're losing weight and you're doing it, chances are you ain't gonna fit them again. I say keep it coming for motivation, move on. And if you do lose weight, you may actually lose weight differently than you did before and not even be able to fit those clothes still. They may hang on you differently. They may look weird on you. You never know. So I go, get a chance to go shopping. That's your reward. You actually, when you lose the weight and you see your shape, then you actually buy clothes that fit your shape. But that's always my tell people all the time, like, yeah, you may lose weight, but what if you don't lose weight the same way, you don't look the same you did before? And then you get the outfit doesn't even look good on you anymore. So there's a chance of that too. I have a couple pieces of clothes in there. I want to lose weight one day, of course. But I'm not really doing anything that, to get there, really. But there's just a couple of pieces that I have that just kind of motivation. I have them hanging up, they're motivation. But I'm gonna do some Q&As in 2022 to kind of get this whole, and answer your questions and talk about, because you're right, we should talk about this more about, I have a whole thing about clothes. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's clothes, shoes, papers, magazines, sometimes food items are the sore spots. Yep. That's it. Yes, that is it. But I'm into rotating clothes. That's another story. I'll talk about clothes one day. But yeah, I'm glad you got that back. So that's something. But there's a whole host of things. But I'm looking to do some stuff in 2022. So I'm like, it's gonna be, we're gonna work it out. Yeah, we're gonna work that out. Well, folks, I'm gonna go on with my day. It's 10 a.m. my time, basically, here in Los Angeles. Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas. There'll be no new shows until after January in 2022. Happy New Year. Please be careful. Yes, t-shirts and the quilts. I've seen that before too, and the blankets. Manny, I've seen that. Yes, that too. People do that also. And I want, and in January it's Go Organizing Month for NAPO, this organization that I used to be a part of. So we were talking about organization, and then spring cleaning in March and all this stuff. So we're gonna get ready. We're gonna get everybody organized next year. We're gonna get you organized next year. We're gonna do this, folks. Have some fun along the way. But congratulations to me and my 12 years in this business. I love it. And you can follow me on Twitter at the Super O, or the SOS show, SOS_show. Here on Facebook at the Super Organizer, or Super Organizer Show, or James Lott Jr. Both pages are available. My show is Super Organizer. It's out there on every streaming platform and on YouTube on JLJ Media. And my website's lottahelp.com.